Gun fam, what's up? It's the Gun Brother. Thank you for tuning in. The scene is you driving down the street, you do something to catch the attention of law enforcement, whether you did it or not, whatever they perceive. They pull you over and you're armed with your CCW legally. What next? Let's get into it. All right, so this incident happened, I think about a month ago in Jacksonville, Florida. The body cam was released by the sheriff's office, and you may have seen it where the guy got pulled over. He was legally carrying a firearm, and the police went to separate him from the firearm for officer safety, which is going to happen 80% of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, and the gun gets fired. Let's walk through it. Just for time's sake, I'm just gonna walk through it together instead of playing it and then going back through it. But let's walk through it and then talk about how can we prevent this or what we can do about it.
Lower your windows, all of them. What's up, my man? Hey, you got a valid driver's license, proof of insurance, all that good stuff? Hey, you blew that red light.
The light was yellow and turned red when I went out there.
It was red when you blew it.
It was yellow.
Okay. Well, I saw it. It was red. So,
Saw it.
all right. Well, you got a proof of insurance.
So right off the bat, we disagree on what happened, but whatever. Nobody's being violent. Nobody's out of control.
Okay. Just hang tight. You got anything crazy in the car?
Yeah.
What do you got?
So I'm laughing at this because one of my guys in one of my Facebook groups was like, only when asked. And I was like, well, he did ask, or are you gonna say he didn't really ask because he didn't say gun or weapon, he just said, do you got anything crazy in the car? So we'll just take that as he asked. And the guy said, yes, I have a gun.
You got a gun? You do? All right, where's that? It's on you? Okay. As long as you're cool and
I'm chill.
Now, for that part right there, I would suggest saying specifically where it is. The gun is on you, it's on my right hip, 3 o'clock position. It's on my left hip, it's wherever. I wouldn't just say it's on me, because now the officer doesn't know which direction you would be reaching if you were or were not reaching for the firearm, because it doesn't really know where it is, it just knows it's on you. So I'd recommend saying exactly where it is. Although again, this situation is not violent or crazy or out of control. Nobody's yelling at each other or anything like that.
no, man, I appreciate your honesty. That's awesome. So you have concealed carry and all that good stuff? No, you don't? All right, you're not a convicted felon, right? Nothing?
I do everything, whatever.
Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is.
So he doesn't have his concealed carry permit, but we're in Florida. Florida is constitutional carry, and that's why he asked him, was he a convicted felon? So as long as he's not a convicted felon or any other disqualifying factors, he is allowed to carry in Florida with no permit.
Just for my safety, your safety, I'm gonna have you step out. All right, fair enough. And we're just gonna remove the pistol from you. And then
again, that's going to happen 80% of the time. If you declare that you have a firearm, or law enforcement sees the firearm, if it's in plain view for whatever reason, 80 to 90% of the time, they are then going to want to separate you from that firearm for officer safety. I meant to look it up. There is a case. I'll post it. I'll put it in post. But there is a case that upholds that. They are allowed to do that. They can separate you from your firearm for officer safety. So 80%, 90% of the time, you let law enforcement know that you're armed, they're going to want to separate you from that firearm until the investigation is complete. Then they're supposed to give it right back to you. There's nothing else for them to investigate as far as the firearm goes, because this is a traffic stop. The separation from the firearm is for officer safety, and that's it. So I think you should be prepared for that. That's the reason I'm making this video. You should be prepared for that if you let them know that you're armed, okay? So he gives them the rundown of everything that they're going to do.
Yeah, just
and everybody's cool.
Just to be fair, lower that window. Hey, he's very compliant. He does have a pistol on him, so we're gonna take him out from that side, remove the pistol, and we'll go from there. All right?
Get out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good.
Everything's pretty straightforward. He's not reaching for anything. He's not being fidgety. Okay. Comes around.
I appreciate that being very honest.
Oh, shit. You okay?
And that's when the gun goes off. All right, so right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch body cams. You can see the officer has the firearm in her hand from where she removed it. And I'm gonna switch to her body cam so you can see what actually happened. Here we go. All right, so this is where we go wrong. And we'll talk about this. I'm just gonna let it play, and I just wanna show you exactly what happened. As she gets the pistol out, the gun gets fired. That's why I don't say it goes off. The gun gets fired, and immediately you can see her fingers are on the trigger, okay? And that is what happened. So this is where, let's talk about it. So a couple of things, let's go back. She's trying to do two things at once. She has her hand on the firearm, and she's trying to disengage the holster. If you know anything about holsters, especially these clips, the clips are made to not come off the pants very easily so that you can draw the firearm. You don't want the holster to disengage from the clothing because then the firearm won't come out of the holster. So that's number one. So that's already going to be a difficult thing to do. Good idea, because the holster is going to be made to cover the trigger. If you remove the whole thing as a unit, that's probably the best way to do it. However, she comes over the top of the inside of the pistol with her left hand, and she gets her fingers down and into the trigger well. Now she's going to kind of bend down, and it's going to take the gun out of our view. But at this point, she's starting to remove the gun from the holster because she can't get the holster out. That's when the gun goes off. And again, you see her fingers on the trigger. So how can we avoid this? Let's talk about a couple of things. So like I said, if you declare that you have your firearm, 80% of the time law enforcement is going to try to or going to want to separate you from the firearm for officer safety till the end of the traffic stop. Then they're supposed to give it back to you. Again, they can do that. So a couple of suggestions or ideas, and please throw it down in the comments. You don't have to tell me it's your right to carry. You shouldn't have to do all this. I get all that. You don't have to tell me that. But if you have any other ideas on how to mitigate something like this, please throw it down in the comments. So my first thing is this. Let's say I get pulled over. I know I'm getting pulled over. I can take the firearm off, put it in my center console or glove compartment. The reason I say that is because what that does is that separates me from the firearm and my documents. I already have my license and registration out. I'll already have my concealed carry card out if I need to, but I'll have the firearm in my center console or already in my glove compartment. That way when he asks, now, just to be clear, make sure you understand the laws in your jurisdiction, but for the most part, your concealed carry allows you to carry your firearm on or about your person. That means it can be in the glove compartment or it can be in the center console if you do have a permit. That is concealed. So when they come up, if he does ask, now this is the second thing you need to know about your jurisdiction. What kind of jurisdiction do you have? Is your jurisdiction only when asked? Is your jurisdiction duty to inform or no duty to inform? Okay, I believe Florida is no duty to inform unless asked. So he did the right thing. He was asked and he informed. So once he asked and I inform, I'm gonna tell him exactly where it is. Yes, I do have a concealed carry, and it is in my glove compartment. So I'll say, yes, I do have a concealed carry. My firearm is in the glove compartment. What would you have me do next? And my hands are right here with the rest of my information. I'm not reaching for anything. So that's one. It's already separated. He might say, step out the car so that, I'm further separated from the gun. He doesn't think I'm going to do anything. So that's scenario number one. Number two, I don't know. It's like once the officer decides that they want to do that, you if you can keep it civil, have that conversation with them, instruct them on how to take the firearm out. And this kind of goes for both ways. It goes for civilians and officers. Take note, because everybody doesn't know everything. You have different types of holsters, different types of retention, and educating or letting the officer know what you're wearing, what it's on you, and how to get it out can go a long way. For instance, I can show you, we're gonna go through 3 right now. And these are already cleared and empty. I did that before I even turned the camera on, okay? So one, this would be an inside the waistband holster, okay? So just like his, it'd be inside. This clip is hella strong. I can't pull it. I almost hate it. Once I get this clip over my belt, I'll wear the same jeans 4 days in a row just to keep this on so I don't have to keep taking it off. But, so if the officer, and like I said, these are empty, they're already chambers clear, no magazines, okay? But if an officer wanted to take this off of me, I would tell him, hey, and officers, you should do this. When you take a firearm out of the holster, this one doesn't have very much retention on it as far as the holster goes. 2 fingers right on the grip, pull the gun out, nothing's on the trigger. Nobody's fingers on the trigger or anything like that. Okay, pull it out, put it down. You're not going to get this off of my belt. It will not come off. Okay, so that's one way. And the problem with this type of holster is, so this is just a normal Serpa holster. Okay, but this holster would be laced through my belt. So if they want to take this whole thing off, and like I said, the holster is going to be, again, designed to cover the trigger to keep something like this from happening, so that if you don't pull the gun out, trigger's not going to get pulled. However, we'd have to undo my belt, slide it through, take this whole thing off. Probably the safest way to do it, but this can get taken off. Or, problem is, officer might not know how to operate this. So if I don't take this off my belt, okay, and he comes over and he's like, all right, the gun brother said just hold the 2 fingers on the grip and pull, but it's not coming out. So you might have to let the officer know how to operate the holster. Serpa holster has a actuator here, boom, gun will come right out, okay? So again, letting the officer know what kind of system you have on, what kind of retention is involved, can make all the difference in the world. All right, and lastly, what you're gonna have is just again, another kind of holster where this particular holster, inside the waistband, what my belt loops are going to go through here, and it's a clip. The clip is going to be attached to the pants and the belt loop. Difficult to get off, but easier to get the gun out with just a single retention inside the holster. So that would just be a situation of securing the holster, okay, on the individual's side or pants or something like that, grabbing the gun, and then just pulling out and not engaging the trigger. Come straight out, point in safe direction, we'll clear it, put it wherever it needs to go, and then we're done. So those are just a couple examples of what could happen and how it could happen. You know, just, you got different types of holsters, different retention systems. Communicate, let people know what's going on. You can't assume that everybody knows how. I mean, you would normally assume that an officer could handle a firearm safely, but just, you know, given when you introduce other factors, accidents can happen or negligence can happen. So communication, or already just separating yourself from the firearm, that can help as well. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And until next time, Gun Brother is out. I will talk to you guys soon.